On social media tonight, rumors about Mendeecees and Yandy's once unshakable marriage are inflicting hurt. People close to the pair claim that Yandy's private revelation has upended the foundation of their union. Even their closest friends are having a hard time understanding it since it is so honest. Fans are assembling mysterious postings, emotional live sessions, and now a shocking new rumor that links Sierra to the chaos, even though none of them has publicly commented. What were once romantic aspirations have become full-blown emotional conflicts due to late-night arguments, rumors of a covert pregnancy, and images of erased remarks. Maelstrom. Mendes feels duped, taken by surprise and unsure of whom to believe. Sources claim that the two are presently embroiled in a controversy that fans are talking about nonstop. Even if they have built their reputation on perseverance and commitment, but with new material emerging every hour, the real question remains. What did Yandy acknowledge? And what role does Sierra's alleged pregnancy play in this intricate web of pain and deceit? According to many who have been following the couple for years, there is an awkward silence that lingers in the air as if each message, narrative, and all of them imply that something far more important is boiling under the surface. It all began that night, sources say, when Yandy decided to come clean in what is now known as a private confession. Even her closest friends and relatives found it difficult to accept that she had really spoken it out loud since it was so sincere. Rumor has it that it was about a decision she had made years before. A secret or a hidden truth, albeit no one knows the exact words. When she finally spoke, witnesses said Mendes froze and gazed at her as if time had stopped. "Why am I hearing this now?" he said, his voice cracking. According to those close to the however, despite his calm demeanor, everyone could see how serious that question was. "I wanted to protect you, but hiding it any longer felt wrong," Yandy said in a low, almost trembling voice. Then everything was different. The room seemed to split in two, with love and memories in one half and uncertainty and untold anguish in the other. The popularity of social media grew rapidly. Enthusiastic videos, secret unfollows, and mysterious posts created a picture that fans couldn't help but notice. Additionally, just as the internet was starting to buzz about Yandy's, news surfaced that Sierra could be pregnant. The truth. Hashtags gained popularity when a fan pointed out her large sweater and another saw an odd sheen in her most recent video. Would there be a relationship between Yandy's mysterious revelation and Sierra's alleged pregnancy? Despite the lack of answers, fans kept asking. Insiders describe a challenging atmosphere behind closed doors where you may essentially hear hearts shattering. The response, according to sources, was, "If I had known sooner, maybe I could have understood." Mendeecees paced slowly around the table. Maybe. She looked him in the eyes, but would anything have changed? At a gathering, someone heard Yandy mutter, "People will talk, but they'll never know what it cost me to say it." Little dinner party? The place became quiet again. The type of quiet that doesn't merely hover in midair, but presses down on you. Friends tried to comfort them, but every speaker has a unique tale to share. A blogger was informed by one of Yandy's long-standing co-workers. "They've survived worse, but this one feels personal." Another friend said it was a mistake, while another stated there was more to it. What was kept hidden is more significant than what was spoken. Sierra's name started trending at an alarming pace at the same moment. No one confirmed anything, but fans dissected the subtitles, old films resurfaced, and comments flooded in with questions like, "Is this about her?" and "Who is the father?" However, in a single day, the internet was able to produce a whole tale. Some followers connected previous events and said that the date was too near to be a coincidence. There were some who argued that it was all over the top, but the story had gained momentum. In a leaked footage from what seemed to be an off-camera chat, a voice that sounded like Mendeecees remarked, "You should have told me when it mattered." This statement may or may not be accurate. The harm was already done when a quieter voice that fans believed to be Yandy's responded, "I didn't even know how to." Skeptics questioned the clip's legitimacy, pointing out timing problems and modifications. The footage traveled across platforms, reigniting the fire just as it was about to die. People who have been fans of the pair from the beginning of hip-hop and romance remember how they built a solid reputation for strength and devotion. Cracks were beginning to show, and it seemed unbelievable. One admirer said these were relationship objectives. What are our chances if they can fall apart? One person said that every marriage conceals something. By coincidence, we happened to see theirs. Mendes mostly remained silent the whole time. Those close to him say he is digesting information slowly and trying to separate reality from fantasy. One insider claims that he is not the kind to respond, out of rage. Yandy, on the other hand, has been seen smiling in interviews, sharing motivational quotations, and focusing on her job. However, her fans insist that her eyes show a distinct message. After listening and observing, he chooses his words. In one behind-the-scenes picture that quietly circulated online, they were seen sitting separately at a party. Yandy kept searching through her phone, but Mendeecees seemed distracted. The silence was enough, but no words were spoken. Later, when asked how she was doing, she smiled slightly and said, "Healing takes time." Her fans couldn't help but connect that one phrase to her earlier statement. Ciara's actions on the internet only made matters worse. She posted a black and white photo with the caption, "Every glow comes with its own storm," and within minutes, the internet was ablaze with speculations. Does she check it? To whom is she speaking? Others tried to calm things down by reminding everyone that assumptions harm people's reputations. However, once a fire has started, it is hard to put out. There is still affection in the couple's social circle, according to many around them. It's just concealed by layers of confusion and shock. One source claims that this has nothing to do with treachery. Truth and timing are key, but fans know that even the strongest foundations may be undermined by time. As the days passed, followers noticed a shift. No couple selfies, no anniversary postings, no joint appearances. As said by one of Yandy's, Mendeecees just posted a black heart emoji on social media, along with quotes like, "Sometimes love means stepping back so both can breathe." Advocates debated whether it was a sign of sorrow, strength, or both. All of this points to one thing. No one really knows what was said that night or how it connects to the stories that are going around regarding Ciara. But the stress, pain, and stillness everyone may feel that now overpowers all words. Halfway between the muttering and the waiting, two individuals who formerly stood together seem to be on opposing sides of an emotional storm. And everyone is observing, wondering whether this is the beginning of the end or simply a challenging season. The strange hush that ensued was noticed by fans. Simply put, there were no dramatic announcements or public disputes. No more couple postings, family meals, or joint appearances. However, the silence appeared to have more impact than words for some reason. According to some, Mendeecees was still at home, just some said he had temporarily moved out because he needed more room to ponder, while others claimed he was sleeping in a separate room. It was becoming evident how far apart they were, whatever the truth. Yandy smiled in her most recent posts, but Mendeecees had become icy and scant, with just a few exercises and a statement about truth always appearing. Recent photos seemed to have been staged. Sources claim that it was an emotional lockdown. Yandy was spending long nights alone in her studio, pacing, writing, and crying now and again. This time she's carrying remorse, but she doesn't break easily. Another close acquaintance said she believed she was shielding him, according to one close friend. These statements implied that her confession was about something from the past that she couldn't take back, rather than betrayal, and she didn't anticipate it to blow up like this. Meanwhile, followers began connecting on social media more than ever before. When a few perceptive followers saw that Ciara had changed her bio twice in 1 week and deleted many recent pictures, it was enough to spark a new round of rumors when it stated new beginnings one day and my peace matters the next. After that, a behind-the-scenes video from a recent event went viral, showing Mendeecees having a long conversation with Kirk Frost, who seemed to be imparting advice. Was she hiding anything, or was she just trying to escape the chaos? Online lip readers claimed that Kirk murmured something like, "Don't make any decisions, angry bro," despite the lack of audio. Mendeecees nodded slowly and touched his temple. Fans sent heartfelt messages in the comments section. One admirer said, "You can see the pain in his face," while another, "That's not a man who's done, that's a man who's broken," face. In a further twist, many speculated that Yandy had been crying when a short video surfaced, showing her exiting a restaurant with her phone to her ear and her eyes red. Blogs with headlines like "Yandy breaks down after private call" and "Mendeecees seen out with friends, Yandy in tears" were going viral within minutes. None of this was confirmed. This was confirmed. But the plot, heartbreak, distance, and a deep misunderstanding that no one could clear up were starting to take shape. The rumors intensified about Ciara, who, according to some insiders, had been coping with personal problems of her own and felt that her name should not be mentioned in the chaos surrounding another spouse. Nevertheless, a number of tabloids claimed that she had a personal connection to the issue, which fans immediately took to be romantic. On one gossip website, an anonymous direct message even said that Ciara and Yandy had a quarrel weeks before everything went south, claiming that they were close at one point, but recently, something changed. Once again, there was just speculation and no proof, but it was enough to ignite a fresh internet fire. Mendeecees' friends reportedly suggested that he stay away from social media. One individual said that he doesn't like to make remarks or go live, believing that quiet is powerful, but also that it allows others to share your experience. And that's precisely what occurred. Bloggers, podcasters, and fan accounts started making assumptions. Some claim Yandy confessed to something emotional before Mendeecees came home, while others claim she hid contact with someone he didn't trust. No one knew for sure, but everyone was convinced they were right. Tension was high in their home, and the air was thick, as if they were both trying to avoid saying anything incorrect. One late-night visitor said, "Do you even want to hear my side?" Allegedly said, Yandy Mendeecees paused, turned away, and responded. She said, "I'm not sure if I'm ready." "Well, what ought I to do?" His brief but sharp reply was, "Maybe nothing for now." It wasn't anger, but rather the fatigue that comes with loving someone, yet not determining if you can still rely on them. Yandy told a mutual acquaintance in private that he believes I lied. "I just didn't tell him everything," the pal asked. "Isn't it the same thing?" Yandy refused to answer, lost in thought as she stared out the window. In the meanwhile, a man was seen visiting his mother. One comment said, "When men go to their moms, that's serious," which many saw as a sign that he needed to be grounded. Others speculated that he was getting advice on whether or not to go. He loves her too much to just go, but love doesn't make sorrow go away, according to one of his family. Everyone had an opinion by the end of the day. Over the weekend, social media became a battlefield for tweets expressing views and sympathies, with one well-known tweet aptly capturing the mayhem. Together they created a kingdom, and now they watch it burn in silence. Some sided with Yandy, calling her a woman, while others commended Mendeecees as a man attempting to preserve his peace. Truth has a strange way of reaching the light, and then, late one night, Sierra released a mystery movie, as if the cosmos needed more drama. The description states that in a matter of minutes, her comments were flooded with questions like, "Is this about Yandy? Are you doing any kind of verification? Girl, don't play with our emotions," she said without responding. But the timing was too excellent to ignore, and several blogs began to suggest that the alleged pregnancy may not even be real. One remark read, "It's not about a baby," but another site responded, "The baby rumor is real, just not in the way people think." One message said that it was only a diversion from something more serious. It has to do with betrayal and silence. Yandy shared a quotation from her experience during this period. "Forgiveness and forgetting are two different things." Fans saw it as a message to him and immediately connected it to men's. It denotes liberty. Some facts hurt because they were never supposed to be buried, and that was all it took for the internet to go into overdrive again as he posted his own a few hours later. The issue, however, is more emotive than controversial. According to some who know them well behind the scenes, for example, one acquaintance described it as like two people fighting to hold on to something real while drowning in noise. The photographers followed them, waiting for a reaction, a word, a glance, anything, but the cacophony just became louder every day. One night, a witness reportedly heard Mendeecees remark to a buddy, "I don't even know if we're fighting each other or just the world." That phrase alone went popular on fan sites, superimposed over sad black and white images of the pair from earlier. The saddest thing I've ever read is that he still loves her, and they need some time apart. Mendeecees started going to the gym more often and worked out harder while Yandy focused on humanitarian initiatives. A lot of people responded that it wasn't a breakup, but there was more going on underneath that tidal wave of love and uncertainty. Friends say they still write quick, polite, almost business-like messages from time to time, but both are trying to distract themselves by pretending they are not seeing each other's reflection in every deed. Formerly comforting messages, such as, "I hope you got home safely, just checking in, and kids doing okay," now feel like echo, although there's still a hint of anxiety in such exchanges. One insider whispered, "They're not done, just lost," and Sierra's quiet remains the most audible part of this story. She has not denied anything, and she has not addressed the rumors or suspicions that have connected her name to this tragic storm. She may or may not be innocent, but her postings, timing, and background presence keeps everyone wondering. The whole scenario appears like slow-motion sorrow, with two tales overlapping, one confession leading to another mystery, and 1,000 fans trying to solve a puzzle that may not have a solution. The world cannot ignore Mendeecees and Yandy's love story, which was once a symbol of tenacity, but now teeters on the edge of a hazardous cliff, regardless of what happens next. As the days turned into weeks, the tension between Mendeecees and Yandy shifted from a peaceful sorrow to something more real, a cold chasm that neither of them seemed ready to traverse. Friends claimed that they no longer spoke to each other except via brief text messages, mostly about routine issues, and that their warmth, humor, and informal closeness had been replaced by a cold formality. "They sound like two people trying not to remember they were in love," one insider quietly said. The situation was exacerbated by the public's continued interest. They tried to keep it hidden, but the internet wouldn't let it go. Every new post, phrase, and facial expression was a clue to the mystery, and fans were desperate to solve it. "We've gone through so much. Sometimes you simply break before you bend," Yandy said in a prior recording, which many quoted because it seemed powerful at the time. He started going through old interviews to hunt for clues that this catastrophe was coming. Now it seemed like a foreshadowing of things to come. Mendeecees would just shake his head and change the subject when some of his close friends attempted to get him to speak. Fans grew even more upset when he remarked, "Even now when he's hurt, he won't let anyone drag her name through the mud." He confessed that he's still defending her. It proved that love was still there. Despite all that had transpired, they were quietly fighting to live under the destruction. The mystery surrounding Yandy's confession remained at the heart of this whole dispute, however, and everyone speculated. Others who knew, however, claimed it wasn't treachery, but rather something that made her seem weak rather than dishonest, regarding everything from an emotional bond to a prior secret. "She thought she was protecting everyone," one insider said, "but secrets are toxic and don't keep you safe." There was still another twist. An exclusive blog post said that Mendeecees had been seen shouting vehemently with a pal outside a club in Atlanta. "Yandy is the reason he's angry," one commenter said, as fans scrutinized the blurry footage frame by frame, certain it was connected to the event. Some said that he was only displaying his frustration with the reports by stating, "You can see it all over his face." The tale of perception was already written, thus the truth was no longer significant. But when Sierra posted another mysterious comment, her fans went into a frenzy, and within hours, many thought her caption, "Some people hate you for the peace they can't find in themselves," was directed at Yandy. Comments such as, "She's making fun of me. Why now? She's sick of being held responsible," exploded in the comment section. Every interpretation just served to fan the flames. Some could not accept it and sought explanation, while others speculated that her pregnancy was a metaphor for new beginnings rather than a true one. They wanted to know why. During all of this, Mendeecees finally made their public appearance. He came by himself, dressed well, but with a tired. He smiled briefly at the cameras, then left after capturing his face on camera. In one fan video, he was observed browsing in silence in a corner, staring blankly at his phone. One person said, "He seems empty," while another observed, "You can tell he's holding everything in." That night, at a charity gathering in New York, Yandy looked lovely in silver, delivered her address, smiled for the cameras, and rushed out saying, "Sometimes love means letting people heal the way they need to." Touched a nerve with everyone. Their fans, who had been following their relationship from the beginning, couldn't bear it even if she didn't bring up Mendeecees. Everywhere threads with the title, "Will this be the last? And can they get back from this?" One response summed up the common suffering. "They fought for love when it wasn't easy, and